Let me share the screen. Okay. All right. So thank you for sharing, all of you, just giving me just for a very short introduction about yourself. And it's good to know that most of you is like wanting to learn revenue management to raise awareness or to understand the overview of revenue management, how it works. So I think that's the main purpose of the sharing today, and the next 3 classes are going to be for this week. All right. So I'm using this class is like a sharing, it's not like training, because this is actually will give you more knowledge about revenue management. So it's not like we don't have enough time, okay, to give like a training, like give you the example, like how to practice, how to make it into the practice so that you can apply in your hotel. So that's why I just say sharing. All right. Just a bit about me. So now I'm the CEO and the founder of BedLinker. Is a B2B travel marketplace, and I started business from 2017 until now. All right. Of course, now COVID pandemic is going on, and is impact a lot on our business. So that's why currently we are not able to do much on the business side. So that's why I spend my time to share my knowledge with you. So I've been in the 20 years in hospitality, and I start as a reservation agent in reservation, in e-commerce, revenue management, and sales. All right. So most of the time I spend in revenue management. All right. So that's why I spend my time in learning master certificate in revenue management, focused on restaurant revenue management, certified by Cornell University in 2015. So that because I want to study in deep how revenue management in a very advanced level. So after this program, I know very well how the revenue management system works. So how on the revenue management like techniques to set up like in the revenue management system. All right, know it very well. And my philosophy in revenue management, I want to simplify the revenue management in the way that everybody, can understand and can apply it into the practice. Because you may know, all right, revenue management is a complicated job. It's not like simple, all right. However, to me, everybody can learn, and everybody can pick it up some very from basic to complication to apply it into the practice into your hotel. So just start with something very simple, all right, and then very basic, and then you just practice every day. Then you become an expert in revenue management. So that's my philosophy. All right. That's why I think in 2015 or 16, I also did a revenue management overview chart, and I share it on LinkedIn, and a lot of people, I think here got Elena and maybe someone else on LinkedIn know about the chart, and the way people impress about the chart is because it's simplified. I try to simplify revenue management in one chart. so everybody can understand how revenue management is about. All right. So that's why through this sharing, all right, I want to inspire you also, all right, to for you to see that, okay, revenue management is very simple. It's not complicated like you thought. All right. So that's about me. The goal of this sharing, for this series of sharing, is for you to gain the knowledge is about revenue management. From that, you can raise your awareness. So you maybe later you can, and then you feel it's inspired, so that you study more deeper. All right, so that you can apply something in revenue management into your hotel, into your to your job, your work, your daily work. All right. So this is the goal of the revenue management sharing from me. And just a very little attention, all right, for all of you, because during the class in all of my sharing, especially I did before in Vietnamese for Vietnam Hospitality Hub in Vietnam. So the way I do the class is like people interact, people discussing, people engage with each other, so that, you know, we exchange information. Of course, in the point of view that I am the one who give you the knowledge, because I'm the one who have maybe more knowledge and more experience in this area. However, I also want to hear from you also, as a especially in this class. There's some colleagues is from Malaysia, from other countries, not only in Vietnam. So I'm so interested to know about yourself, your hotel, how you do revenue management also. All right. So the more questions you ask, okay, so the more knowledge you gain in this class. So try to prepare the question. If something that you don't understand, or you still not understand something, so just simple ask the question. All right. So the content I'm sharing for the first classes today is about an overview, definition, the culture, thoughts, and the revenue manager portray, the product, customer, price, distribution channel, and the seasonal. All right, these are in very overview about revenue management. Okay, so revenue management, this is the definition that I make based on a very typical, okay, definition about revenue management, I think for a long time already. So this is a strategic planning job, you know, that execute a numbers of discipline activities on the purpose of selling the right product to the right customer for the right price at the right time and through the right channel. So in this definition, you just remember 5 right? Right product, right customer, right price, right time, and right channel. Why you need to remember this is very important. Although, okay, you feel it's very simple to remember. However, if you know how to apply this definition into your job, when you start a job, the revenue management job at any hotel, okay, any hotel, you just remember this one, so you will know how to approach the job, how to start to do the revenue management at the hotel. All right. So when you remember this definition, okay, and then you come to work for the hotel, the first question you need to ask, okay, those questions you need to ask yourself is about what is the product of this hotel, all right? What are their customers, okay? So how they sell the product to customer, what is the price, when they sell it, and what is the channel that they sell, okay, to the customer. So these are the questions related to the definition, right? And this is not only apply in hotel. You see that if you start at any business line and on areas, on the company, they having the products, okay? They have the customer. So when you sell something into the market, you need to have the price, you need to identify the time to sell it, and then you need to get the right channel to distribute your product, right? So this definition is very simple, but it's very useful for you to remember. So try to remember those rights, okay? Because later you will need it. All right, and then I can say this is the philosophy, and that I think this will be the base to build the revenue management culture for the hotel. So can say revenue management is a heart of the hotel business. Why I say so? Because later you will see that revenue management will work with many departments in the hotel, and the revenue manager is the one who actually communicate, okay, to execute on the revenue management activities in the hotel, right? So that's why revenue management is the heart of the hotel business, okay? And to build a revenue management successfully in the hotel, so that's an effort of teamwork, not only the revenue manager, okay? So this is something that the top management of the hotel need to support the revenue management culture in the hotel. All right, so this is a teamwork job. It's not only for revenue manager, because the thing I emphasize this one because there's a lot of like owner or GM maybe in very local brand over here. So they think that when they bring the revenue managers into the hotel, so that person will do the magic, okay, to turn the business from zero. They are having a very big problem in business, and they think that when they bring the revenue manager come, so everything can be solved. All right, so that's very wrong. All right, so this is the culture that the top management need to understand and develop it. Okay, try to promote it into the hotel if you want to implement a good revenue management culture. All right, this is those thoughts that revenue management. I think I want to share with you because to me it's very important, very, very important. Because on the people, if you want to do revenue management, this kind of mindset, thought that you need to have. The first thing is can-do mindset. All right, revenue manager, okay, to like everything can do. That's the first thing that we look at the on the problem that we see, we can solve it, whatever problem. All right. So that's why to us, to revenue manager, we don't have any like fear or something in in solving the problem, because to us we can do everything to achieve what we want. So that's why can-do mindset is very important for the revenue management. Second one, logical thinking. All right, so this logical thinking will help you, to solve on the problem without any like deep knowledge in something, because you know that we don't know like everything, right? We cannot like that person because nobody actually know everything. But if you have a very good logical thinking, you can match or you can do the mind map on the elements so that you can solve the problem. All right. And that elements or resources, okay, you can pick it up from different sources, from different people, different department, all right, so that we can solve the problem together. So we don't need to like know everything or solve everything by ourselves, right? We need to know how to map it and how to engage people in solving the problem, all right? And the third one is always ask why. All right, the question why is very important in revenue management because it helps you to understand something in very deep one. All right, you can when you ask why I have to do this job, why I have to do this task, because to me it's like it's very old-fashioned already, so now we need to change something like that. So when you get the work or you get a daily task from someone else, you need to ask yourself why I have to do that. All right, so by asking that question, that will help you to identify those things that not really relevant to your work anymore. You need to change. All right, and the fourth one is about asking yourself what I can do better. What I can do better. So after you know the question why already, right? You know the reason why you have to do that. Then ask the next question. What is what I can do? Okay, to make it better. Why I have to do the same way? Can I do something else to make it better? All right, so these are those four thoughts in revenue management is very important, so that I need you to raise awareness of yourself. So remember this one, this is very helpful. So this is an example. Okay, so we need, so this section, we need to discuss something. Let's say we have the hotel, okay, A, B, C, and D over here. And the occupancy of the hotel is different, right? 90%, 80%, 60%, and 40%. And the ADR, I mean the average daily rates is $80, $90, $120, and 180. But you see the RevPAR. The RevPAR is the revenue per available room is $72. They have the same RevPAR, all right? And of course, if they have the same RevPAR, but they have a different occupancy and different ADR. Okay, so if you are the general manager of the hotel, or you are the owner of the hotel, and what is the strategy you want to, that means which hotel over here you want to choose to do your business? You choose high occupancy with low rates, or you choose low occupancy with high rates. All right. At the end, the result is the same. The RevPAR is the same, $72. All right. So I want to hear your thought about this. So can you just share with me something? Which one you choose? Hello. Can someone open the mic and share with me?
Hotel
or
D.
Sorry?
Hotel D.
So D or B?
D, donkey. Actually, this is sorry, Mr.
Okay,
Juan,
Elena,
Mr.
right?
Juan, yeah.
You can call me Mr. Dow. Mr. Dow is okay.
Mr. Dow, okay. Yeah, Mr. Dow. I mean, this is I mean, for hotel point of view, this is depending on the season itself, depending on the period of time. Okay. Usually, if it's during low peak season, let's say no holiday, no nothing, normal. Okay. Most probably, we will choose D.
All right.
Donkey.
All right. For this one, I just want to add in something. So this is the overall business for 1 year. Let's say this is the overall for 1 year. I'm not tell you like specific period. All right.
Oh, okay.
This is the whole year.
Okay.
This is the strategy for the whole year. Okay.
Strategy for whole year, then I think we'll choose strategy for whole year. I think I will choose D lah, of course. Yeah.
To D. Okay.
Yeah, D.
So other else. Okay. Other else. Share with me which one you think is better for you.
Hello, and I think that for my idea, I think we choose C, because of course with D you will have less cost and you will still have the same money. But for C, with more people, you can have more chance to do to work on other revenue, like buffet, dinner, some team dinner, some weekends lunch or brunch, or they can yield on some spa or some retail. So I may go with C.
Okay, you choose C.
I would like to share my idea about this question.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. In this question, I think we need more information about the rec rate of the hotel, or the hotel have the same rec rate or different rec rate at the same rec rate.
Yes, the same level, the same hotel segment, the same, everything the same.
Yeah, I think in this case, so we need to use the other the indicator like yield to compare between hotels, because if the yield of between if the hotel yield is highest, so I would choose that's hotel. So
okay.
in this case,
yield is how you calculate the yield one.
Yeah, no, because I can. So in this case, just wait a moment. So
okay. Anyone else want to have a question? I want to share with this. So you can think about.
Yes, we have because in the formulation of the yield, so we need the occupation multiplies with the rate of the real rise on the rec rate. So if the rec rate is the same, so here I mean the ADR target is the hotel D have.
All right, I think for the yield one, I think it's not related here because you know because here you can see that the RevPAR is the same. That means the revenue point of view is the same. And as I say, all the category like the rack race and the hotel, the location, everything is the same. All right, so that's why if we get the yield one to compare here, I think it's not really relevant.
Now, if all is the same, so I think it depends on the strategies of the hotel and position of the hotel want to reach. If they want to be the top of the quality in competitive active area, so they choose D case the hotel D. If they want to be they want to cover the cost and get more market share, so they can choose the hotel A, because yes, if they just take the middle position in the market, so they can choose B or C. It's more safer for them.
Okay, so you mean that the main point here is based on the strategy of the hotel?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If everything is the same.
All right, thank you, Nhi. Anyone else? Sorry. Anyone else want to share the point here? All right. So many people here. Why so silent? Tan, with Jun, or Lam, Mr. Lam.
Oh yes. Hello. In my opinion, I think that if I give me a opportunity to choose, that I will choose number D, the hotel D, because look at on the forecast, look at on the rest by on the same. It means that the revenue on for all the hotel is the same, but the hotel D will win more profits for than the other hotel, because look, the occupancy is lower, but the ADI higher. So it means the room cost is also like lower. So
you mean more about the cost, right? So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can save the cost, so the profit can be better. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So people like D and 1C. So and anyone else is 2A or B, because the occupancy is very high. Right. So nobody want to get a hotel with very high occupancy.
In my case, if I just open the hotel just opening, I will choose the A case to get more people know about my hotel first.
Ah, okay. All right. So so I think the best answer is about depends on the hotel strategy. Is Miss Nhi is really right about this. So you see here, this is not right or wrong, okay? This example is not about right or wrong. And you can choose which outcome in here, A, B, C, or D. It still depends on your hotel, on your strategy of your hotel. Let's say if your hotel is like Nhi say, if the hotel is just open, right? It's just open and you need like occupancy, you need the guests come to join and experience your product. All right. So people tend to drive the guests in the to drive the business in occupancy driven. All right. But for some hotel, like very luxury one in the market, very luxury one, and they just want to be on top of the world. They just pick the guests, very luxury. So of course they will choose the D, because they can position themselves in a higher level in the market. All right, and they accept, okay, we can have less guests, but we need to get the right people, can pay us $180. Okay. And then if some other else hotel, maybe the resort, in the resort point of view, of course, you need to, when you run the hotel, right, as a GM, as a general manager or owner, you also need to be considered, okay? You need to consider the occupancy level also, because at the end, the owner is not really impressed when the hotel is running lower than 50%, right? So at least, you know, when I give you a hotel, you need to run it like above 50%, 60 or 70% with a good rates. It's acceptable. But if you run it very low occupancy, that means it's not really a good strategy to the owner, for example, especially for the owner is not like in the industry. All right. So as a general managers or the one who run the business, you need to pick up like C. C is actually fair in this in the way that, okay, balance between the occupancy and the ADR. All right. So to me, if I run the hotel, I choose C because 60% occupancy to 70% occupancy is ideal one for me. But I want to optimize the revenue by the ADR. All right. So this is a good example for you, so that you can have the mindset. You can understand the mindset of the people who do revenue management. Okay. So of course, the red part is very important. Red part is so in this case, I hope that you guys know how to calculate RevPAR. So RevPAR is a occupancy. You take the occupancy, you time for the ADR. So it's become a RevPAR. So RevPAR is the KPI, the most the key performance index for in room revenue, business. So that means in hotel, right? You got room, you got F&B, you got the other revenue center. So about room division, RevPAR is something very important to drive, because that will say the balance between occupancy and the ADR. So if you want to increase the RevPAR, right? If you increase the RevPAR, that means your revenue will increase. If your RevPAR is dropped, so your revenue will drop. All right. And if you want to increase the RevPAR, so either you need to increase occupancy or you need to increase the ADR, right? Or you have to increase both, right? So in this way, the RevPAR will tell you more like the balance between the way you drive the occupancy and the ADR at the same time. All right, so this is an example that very typical in revenue management mindset. All right, so so far until now, you guys have any question?
Can I have a question?
Yes, please.
I know that is just your example about the occupancy and the rank of the hotel, but if I'm just thinking my thought, if we run 40% occupancy and we get the rest by like $72, would not gonna be a question from the management that we don't really optimize the revenue because you still have another 60 rooms in inventory and you really have the chance to push your RevPAR, right? I'm just have the random thought.
Yeah. So that's why I tell we need to balance between the occupancy and the ADR. You are right, because if we run the business with very low occupancy, usually it's not really impress the owner.
Yeah,
it's not impress the owner. So that's why we need to handle the owner also. So make them happy. So if they look at your business, say, oh, okay, 60%, 70% every year, and then you have make good revenue, good profit. So everybody happy. All right. But if you run the business like occupancy very high, right? 80, 90% yearly. So of course, your operation like crazy, right? Your staff is like have to run up and down like every single day during the year. Right, because 90% every year is crazy. I mean that hotel running full most of the time, right? So that's create a lot of stress for the staff, and then of course the cost also increase. All right, so that's why you need to balance. The RevPAR will tell you the balance between the occupancy and the ADR, and we pick the right strategy to execute.
And the high occupancy gonna, and from my experience also, if you have so high occupancy, your service gonna go down also. So
right, definitely
gonna be another risk.
Correct. That's another risk that you may not, serve the guests at the best service level. All right, that's correct. All right. Anybody else want to share something over here before we move next? Okay, and we go. So this is the revenue manager core competency and skills. All right, so you look at the list, very long one. So that means that if you want to be the revenue manager, you need to have this competency and skills. All right, and of course, I don't tell that, okay, you have to get all of these things at the same time. This one will grow, okay, day by days, year by years. All right, you will get it, you will experience, and then you can have this kind of competencies and skills. So at the beginning, okay, to me, if you want to start to be a good revenue manager, you need to have first, okay? First is the logical thinking ability. Logical thinking ability is very important to me, because at the end, if you have this one, you can solve all the problem. And then revenue manager, you know, doing the job like you have to solve the problems many times, okay, during your work. So that's why if you have your logical thinking, then you can solve the problem easy. Okay, the second one, I can pick it up from here, is the communication skill. All right, why? Because revenue managers have to work with sales department, have to work with F&B, have to work with reservation, accounting, IT, e-commerce, many departments in the hotel. All right. So if you don't have a good communication skill, maybe you get stuck somewhere. All right. Sometimes you want to execute something, but if you don't communication good, then people is not really, communicate, like shake hand or execute the business together with you. So that's why communication skill is very important. That's the second one. And the third one, sorry. So the third one, what is from here, is the training ability. Training ability is the skill that you need to use to train other department, to train the other, like in reservation, in the sales, so that they can understand what is revenue management about, how we can work together, okay, to execute like market segment, how you can use the market segment correctly, all right? And if revenue management increase the rates, how sales is actually communicate with the clients so that they don't upset about that. All right, so this kind of thing is more in communication and training. All right, and then four, you need to have the to want to work with the numbers. I mean, you need to love the numbers. Here is related to analytical skills. The number is something like, if a lot of people, like when you look at the figures, the numbers, okay, you feel like not comfortable. All right, you feel like, okay, very headache. Why so a lot of numbers of here, something like that. So with revenue manager, you have to work with a lot of numbers. You need to look at the worksheet to see whether, okay, this number, how it works, and then you need to recognize the problems from the numbers. Okay, so numbers, working with number is very important for the revenue managers. So to start with the revenue management job, that's why you need to work in as the position of revenue analyst. So the revenue analyst is actually the first level of revenue management in your revenue management career. All right. So the reason is because you need to get along with numbers. You need to do the statistic. You need to do the post, so that you can visualize by the charts. You need to read the numbers to analyze this. Okay, so this is very important competency and skill. Okay, for the rest, I think you will learn it from experience. Okay, day after day, you will improve it. And when you become like revenue director or even more higher, leadership skill is very important. So leadership skill is to help you, to lead people. Okay, to lead people in the other department. It's not only your department, the other department also. So you lead people to achieve the revenue management target. So you need to have the leadership skill. All right. And of course, Excel is very basic. I think nowadays you guys have to know how to use Excel, right? Because not many people not many revenue managers in the market now can have the chance to use the revenue management system. A lot of people, a lot of hotels still like can have to use the Excels to handle the work. All right, so that's why Excel is very basic. You need to know when you want to learn in revenue management. All right, so these are the core competency and skill if you want to be a revenue manager. Something that I need to clarify, because this is what I experienced also. There's many people asking me why the hotel need to have a revenue manager when they already have director of sales and marketing. Because a lot of owner or even the GM, they say the job of revenue, I think that could be done by the director of sales and marketing. Why you have to hire another revenue management for what? More expense, right? So this need to be clear, need to be clarified, because the one who handle the revenue management job is actually different than the director of sales and marketing, right? The revenue is more introvert. Director of sales and marketing is more extrovert, right? They go out talking with people, you know, networking, spend more time on the road, okay, go to the trade show. They don't want to be in the room at the office, okay? But revenue manager is different, okay? Just want to stay home, stay at the office, do the analysis, read the numbers. All right, you see the skill and different, okay? So that's why first, different about the skills. The second one, the role of these two people is so different, and especially in the hotel chains like Marriott, Hilton, they actually got the role of these two people is different. All right, the role of revenue is actually more about, you know, control inventory, pricing, strategic planning, control the inventory, group quoting, so that, you know, and make sure that all the discipline work need to be implemented in the hotel, so that we can control how we sell. Okay, how we sell. We sell in the way very hard, smart way, is not very hard way. Okay, so that's why I need to be clarified this one, so so that, you know, you don't confuse between revenue managers and director of sales and marketing. And of course, there's a lot of hotel now, they don't have the budget to hire a revenue manager. So of course they can use the director of sales and marketing to do the job of the revenue. It's very easy to understand, very easy. However, the director of sales and marketing, you can handle it in the way of doing pricing, okay, in the way of developing the sales plan, market development. All of that one can do by the sales director of sales and marketing. However, it's just a very basic way of revenue management, because revenue management, if you hire someone is experienced in revenue management for the hotel, there's a lot of things more to do. Control the inventory, control the rates, how to control the segments so that we can optimize on the revenue from a different segment one. How to optimize the revenue from the channel, the season, all right, the customer. So this kind of thing is more complicated if you hire a revenue manager. All right, so that's a different. The second thing is also the comparison between revenue and the finance managers or the FC, financial controller. Here I can say the part of revenue manager is doing the budget and the forecast, right? And the finance one, they also do that job, okay? They also do forecast and do budget. So what is the different over here? All right, I just tell you the most different is about revenue is more related to sales, to marketing, reservation. All right, so they more on the top line, okay, in the front line with the sales team, so that they can optimize the sale opportunity and the revenue. But for the finance point of view, they will look at on the figure and report number from accountings. So that means revenue is actually go first. They go in advance. They go first to driving the business, driving the revenue first. Okay, because at the end, if you wait until end of the month to read the report, maybe you miss a lot of opportunity to sales, right? So revenue management is using the technique to work with the sales team is more in the front line, so that we can execute the plan to achieve the budget, the target, and in a very proactive way. It's not waiting until end of the month and we see at the report. All right, so that's the difference. So this is the question why we need the revenue manager for a hotel. Okay, these are the job that revenue management is doing. This is a main job. However, there's a many one related to this. Just want to highlight for you, and so that you can imagine. So you see here working with market segmentation, reservation, forecasting demand, analyze the channel, competition overview, and pricing analysis. This kind of thing, we need to have the revenue manager to do it on the daily basis, weekly, or even monthly. So these are the activities that revenue management have to do on a very regular basic one. To do all of this, you will understand, or you will immediately take the action, okay, to adjust the strategy so that we can driving the business to achieve the budget and forecast. All right. And the question, one of the questions is interesting. So who revenue management should report to? So this is a survey that did from MAI. So they are doing this survey from the hotel industry and giving us survey information. So can say most of people want the revenue manager report to the GM. All right, and to me it's like report to who is not really a big deal, but revenue need to report to the decision maker. Whatever that decision maker can be the owner, all right, or can be the GM, or can be someone else. All right, so that person needs to be the decision maker, because that revenue relate to a lot with business strategy, business action, so that to optimize the sales, optimize the revenue, profit for the hotel. So they need to make it fast. The decision need to make very fast in the business movement. So if they have to rely on someone else and that person is not able to make decision, then maybe we lose the business opportunity for the hotel. All right, so that's why we need to report to the decision maker. So here, this is the department that revenue have to work with. The GM, handle the GM, sales and marketing, reservation, room division, finance, account, IT. So this is, if you are a revenue manager and you don't have the good communication skill, you will get trouble, okay? Get trouble with communication with people in this around a lot of departments like it, okay? And this is a career path. Let me the structure, sorry. This is the structure of revenue management in the hotel. We can develop into a different level. You can say, start with the property level, and then cluster level, area level, country level, regional level, and corporate level. All right, so if someone is not in the hospitality industry, so this one is like in summary for you to understand how revenue management structured. Okay. And this is the career path for revenue management. So if you want to be in revenue management job, the first one will be revenue analyst. So everybody need to be, need to be fair, right? If you start with like from reservation, you are a reservation manager, for example, and you want to be the revenue manager. Can say if it can be like put you in from reservation manager into like assistant revenue manager. That can do that kind of promotion. However, at least during the time you do reservation, you need to understand very basic one in terms of reporting, working with numbers, analyze the figures, how to read the report, how to understand the report, understand the figures. You know, at least you have to learn something very basic before you enter the position of like assistant revenue manager or revenue manager. All right. If you are not related, for those job is not related to revenue management, it's like you are from front office or from sales or from the other department and you want to be a revenue manager, then you need to start. You should start with revenue analyst. All right, because that one will give you an opportunity to learn very basic one in terms of reportings, understand the figure in the data, how to analyze this. Okay, and then move up to have revenue director. Okay, and then vice president of revenue management, and could be there's some hotel chain they have strategic like chief strategy officer or something. So the one who handling a very strategic position in the hotel chain. All right. So after that, if you want to be move more, you need to be a founder. That means you need to open your own business, or could be for those vice president or something. I think they're not really interested to be a general manager, because the people who choose the career path in revenue management, they're not really interested in operation. Okay, be the GM. Okay, like me, I have a lot of opportunity to be a GM at the hotel. Okay, in very early of my career. However, I'm not doing that that career path. Okay, I just want to be hired in revenue management, and then later after that, I choose my I will develop my my startup, my own business. All right. Okay. Any questions so far, ladies and gentlemen? All right. Don't let me talk alone. Okay. Very boring.
I have a question, Mr. Thuy.
Okay, please.
Yeah, as you know, in my introduction, I introduced myself. I'm now teaching in front office management. So I see some hotel corporation, the big hotel, they put the job revenue manager in the front office department. So okay. The revenue manager can work under the front office manager.
All right, good question. Can say yes if that hotel is want to put in under room division. I mean, front office it belong to room division. So some hotel want to put revenue in room division. Because that in room division, maybe somebody is like having the decision making, something. So that as long as I told you before in the slide, regardless of the people that revenue management have to report to, but that person need to be the person can make a decision. All right. So can be under sale, can be under room division, or can be under GM, no problem.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Other people? Elena, you need to share something? All right. Nobody want to share something with me?
Sorry, I was engaged on another line, Mr. Tao. Yes, I
Okay.
think your session very brief, very good, very good. I think I have one question only. The example that you showed just now, right? The hotel A, B, C, D, right?
Yeah.
Do you know sometimes when we read revenue management book, right? I do come across the term of GOPA. Gross. Yeah. So this rate, right? Is it part of revenue rate or how? I mean,
GOP par is
Yeah.
another high level of financial indicators. That's we use to measure the performance of the hotel. It's not only for room division.
the
Right.
overall revenue, right?
Overall for the hotel. So,
Oh.
so you have the KPI, key performance index for rooms, for F&B, for the department, right? And then you got the KPI for the whole hotel. All right, so GOP par is the KPI for the whole hotel performance. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Concerning the question from Alina, I want to ask, so if it's the job, the GO part, it will be with the finance controller more than the revenue person, right?
Correct. However, in the developed country, in Europe and US nowadays, they discuss, a lot about this one, and they ask the revenue managers have to involve with this also. And the role of revenue managers, revenue director nowadays in Europe and US, they actually much higher, because the owner and the GM of the hotel want revenue to involve with driving the profit for the hotel. So revenue manager is not revenue manager anymore. Now it's like a profit manager. Okay, so those in like developed country, they start talking about total profit management. It's not like total revenue and management anymore. All right, but of course in Asia, in Vietnam, in Asia country, we still like behind, and now we need to do good in revenue management in rooms and those like total revenue management first before we talk about profit. Okay, any question else? All right, let's move next. All right. Okay, so we talk about the first, this one, the hotel customers, all right? So you know that like every product, right? Every product of the hotel, when you sell it into the market, of course you have to identify the target customer, all right? And I just make it very brief over here, so you can imagine what is the customer of the hotel. So the hotel can divide it, can divide the customer into the group size, all right? You can divide a group size. So we have the term GID and FID using very popular in the hotel. So this is because the hotel is divided customer into the group size, okay? So some hotel, they divide the group as like 5 rooms, above. Okay, some hotel they define the group is like 8 rooms above. Some it define 10 room and above. All right, and depend on the hotel size. Okay, for those hotel, small hotel, 2 to 5 room is actually a group already. But for the big hotel, a large one, and they have a lot of money, so a lot of rooms, then they have to define 10 rooms and above. Okay, so this is based on the group size. Then the hotel can divide the customer into the traveling purpose. Okay, traveling purpose like the leisure travelers, if they travel for leisure, or they travel for business, or they travel for the events, or they travel for gambling. So this is the purpose of the travel, all right? And then we have a term of B2C customers and B2B customers, all right? B2C is we call business to consumer or business to customer, all right? So this one mentioned about those business, no B2B for those client that doing the business, selling the product to the consumer. But for some business, for some company, they are selling the business to the business. So that means they sell to another company, and that company will sell to the end user. So that model we call B2B. All right. And in the B2B, I can break down for you here because this one you will see somewhere. It's very familiar if you are in the hotel industry. So B2B customer here usually is we're talking about the wholesaler, tour operator, the DMC, destination management company, a travel agency, a travel management company, corporate company, and the consortia. So I'm not sure if you guys here understand all of this term, the definition of this B2B customer. You need to clarify something on this so that I can share with you more. If you know already, so then we can pass it.
Can you share about consortia?
All right. Consortia is like an organization that they gather the small travel agency under their umbrella. You know that if you are a small travel agency, right, you hardly can have a good deal with the hotel, right? But if every small hotel, when you approach the hotel, you asking for a good raise, and usually the hotel don't give you the good raise because you don't have the volume, you don't have the selling power, right? But if you gather into a group, okay, an organization called consortia, then that consortia on the volume sale from the from each travel agency, small travel agency, they can put on the volume in this consortia, and this consortia at that time the volume is very big. So when they have a big volume, they can negotiate with the hotel with a very big, very good raise. All right, and from that good raise, they can actually help again the travel agency so that they get more benefit, okay, more business advantage so that they can do their business. Okay, this is called consortium.
Okay, thank you. So in Vietnam, do we have consortia type?
No.
No?
No, in Vietnam we don't have.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So this is a good idea for you to do this business. Okay, I saw Tan, right? Tan, you want to ask something?
Yes, hello, Anton and everyone. Regarding the hotel customer, I want to ask about the purpose of traveler. It means like many customer, they are, I mean the business traveler, like they come from any corporate company, and they you book on the OTA or even direct with the hotel. So it's really clear that if they book on OTA, because okay, for the price we say okay that direct. However, that one day they book directly with us, it means that you contact directly with the hotel. And if they are the business leisure, should we quote them like the direct rate, or we just write them directly to the sale correct? I mean, in case they don't have any request, so do the reservation need to verify the purpose of the travel and then try them to the price and the segment that we sell. And the same case that some customer they come with a example like they email to reservation, but they use the company email. However, the purpose that they come for staycation, they not really come for work. So how we can handle some case like that, because I don't want to put them in the wrong segment. So in the end of the day, that you have the wrong data to for the business.
I got your point. So we need to distinguish between the segment and the channel. All right. Let's say the corporate segment. Let's say the traveler is from the corporate account. All right. The travelers is from the corporate account, but they can go business trip or they can go leisure trip. Okay, they still from corporate account. So to me, you still apply if you already offer the corporate rates for that hotel, for that company, right? So whatever, if the staff is going under leisure or under business, they can use the corporate rate. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing, if that corporate client, they book through a OTA, okay, they book OTA. Of course, when they book OTA, because they want to choose the OTA because I think the convenience, because they don't need to call you, they don't need to contact the hotel to make the booking. Maybe it take time for them. They just go to the OTA and make the booking very fast, quick, and pay by the credit card safely, easily. However, if they contact the hotel, right, it takes a lot of time to just, getting the making the booking and then payment with a credit card. Because if you don't have the online payment gateway, you ask the guest to send you the credit card detail in paper, something like that. Then it's not convenient for them to make the booking directly with the hotel. So that's why they turn away and they make the booking on the OTA. So whatever, if they come from the corporate, as long as they come from the corporate and they go with leisure trip or the business trip, I would recommend you still apply for them the corporate rates.
Yes, but I mean in the case that, okay, they come with us by, they don't have the offer already for the corporate. They don't have it yet. It means they come with by the email, but the email address is not like the private email. It's like the company email. And
in that way, I understand. In that way, you should drive them into the direct corporate contract. You should drive them, recommend them. However,
so I mean, even they come with the business leisure or even that they come for the staycation, but if they use the corporate email, we should drive them directly to the corporate.
Correct.
Okay, I got it.
And then you need to encourage them to work directly with the hotel. That's the way you should do. Because if you let them to go with like on the OTA, right? Then of course you have to pay the commission for the OTA, right? Maybe your return rate is not good enough compared to the corporate rate.
Yes, I'm talking. I understand that we are on way rider to book directly with the hotel, but my concern that because that's kind of people, they do not promise, because they work for company, but normally that when we have the corporate contract, is mean on the people they work for the company, they will book through the booker. I mean, even they stay, but they do not contact directly with the hotel. They will book through the booker. So when we issue the contract for any company, it means the company they you stay longer with us, or they you not the promise, but they potential to bring for the hotel with the amount of room night per year. So that's why we issue the contract. But in the case that they all of us is work for the company for sure. But however, that maybe I just interesting with one hotel just for staycation. So or I just come for 1, 2, or 3 times per year. So I consider that we should to just apply for them direct if they come for the staycation trip. So at least the revenue is higher, and also we know that they are not the potential for us to issue the contract. That's what I concern.
Okay, so in that situation, I think I would recommend that you give the company name to the sales team so that they can approach that company and work as a company level. It's not directly with the guests.
Okay, I got it. Thank you, Anton.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Someone? So the other very quiet, Valerie, you have any question? Cheetah.
I'm fine.
All right, so you are working in reservation, right? So I think you got familiar with this one, or?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, maybe next section you will be more like curious and more things for you to discuss.
Yeah.
All right, so next, okay, if nobody else asking, I will go next. All right. Let's talk about the market segmentation, because when we talk about customer, the market segmentation is the most important. All right. Because why? I can tell you now. So the way, I mean, all the customer when they come to your in the market, when they come to stay at your hotel, you need to know them, right? Where they come from, who are they, what they are doing, to understand about them. So at least you know you can serve them better. All right. So that's why the hotel usually can segment the customer into a very smaller groups, you know, for them to track and to analyze, to understand the behavior of the customer. Okay, this action, this activity we call segmentation. Okay, market is the market, right? Segmentation, that means you segment the market into a smaller group so that you can understand that group easier, or you can track them and understand them in a deeper way. All right. So usually we measure the segment by the following, like the following things. So the question is something like, when you segment the any segment, market segmentation, you need to ask what kind of travel product they buy, by the time when they buy of the travel products, and what price they're willing to pay, and then the distribution channel that where they buy the travel products. So this kind of question is you need to be answered, okay, to understand your customer. So that's why you need to segment the guests. So here, this is measuring market segment performance. I mean, when you segment the guests, right, you need to measure what you need to measure. So these are the elements that you need to measure. You measure the geographic behavior in the elements. and then the room nights, race, revenue, day of week. Okay, day of week is very important too, because you need to know whether your guests is come from weekdays or they will come for the weekend, which one is more higher. All right, so that you can have a better, like a different rates in weekday and weekends to optimize the revenue, right? The frequency of the purchase, the frequency of the purchase, the length of stay, the room, the product type, and then what is the additional spend that they spend at the hotel, where it come from, the channel distribution. So these are the elements that you need to measure, okay, for each segmentation to know the performance of each segment. All right, so when you segment, right, what happens if you don't measure and you segment again and you don't measure it correctly? Or say if you don't measure it correctly, then you cannot like achieve the budget, and then maybe you target to the wrong segmentation, the wrong segment, because maybe your guest come is for business trip more than the leisure trip. All right, but if you don't have a good statistic report, reservation make wrong segment, then when the report come out, the revenue look at the report and say, hey, we have a lot of business that coming, but in fact, because reservation is actually choosing wrong segment, this kind of thing will lead to a wrong business strategy. And then all of that strategy later, target to marketing, sales, all the efforts is actually wrong, right? And then forecasting also wrong. So this kind of wrong tracking will lead to a very bad result in terms of business. So this one, that's why I always, when I was a revenue manager, I always have to do the training for the reservation team so that they can understand very clear about the segment. To make sure that when they take the reservation, they need to choose the segment correctly. And if they don't know, they don't know where they can put the segment, they need to contact me in any time so that I can help them to understand it and choose the right one. All right, so who responsible? So this is the one that I just mentioned. Reservation is the first one. Very important one, because reservation is the one who take the booking, right? And they input all the booking data into the system. And if they don't understand the segment, they very easy to put it in the wrong segment. And then there's, after the operation time of reservation, the front desk will handle, right, the reservation. So that's why they need to understand also. Third is the system managers, line managers, sales, and of course, revenue manager, who is the one who created the segment in the system. They configure on the segment in the system. So the rest in the other department, you just need to pick the right segment to use. You don't need to create. Okay, if you need to create something, you need to contact revenue manager to create. So the benefit, this is the benefit of accurate market segment. All right. So if you have a good tracking, the performance of the measure, the market segment, then you can have an accurate forecasting, optimize the market mix. So to develop, to target the strategy to attract, specific customer. Because when you have a good data insights, you understand the customer, you can target very specific into the customer. And then very effective in target on pricing strategy. Pricing strategy is a very important, key leverage lever, so that we can optimize our revenue. So with the measure, let's say if I know that the corporate segment is a very good segment that bring the profit for the hotel, then I need to have a good strategy, pricing strategy to target the corporate. But if I find, okay, I have more business from the online channel, so I need to drive the strategy from the online channel. All right. So if you see here, if you have a good, accurate measure in like a hotel chain, a group of hotel, and you just imagine that if any hotel in the group, they have wrong tracking, wrong statistic in market segmentation, then when they submit the data into the group, then the hotel group also get wrong data. And then on the strategy and come up with global wise, okay, will be impacted. So this is the one that's very important, so that to make sure that your reservation and for those who related to market segmentation, you need to understand and they use it effectively during the time that they make the booking into the system. All right. Okay. Actually, everybody is follow me, right? Any questions so far? All right, seems that okay. This topic is not really interesting to all of you, so that's why I think not many people are asking. I got a feeling of that. Okay. Then we're moving to the next, I think more interesting one. So I hope that all of you will have more interaction during this section, because pricing is always something that very interesting in revenue management. All right. Okay. So first thing, just a very initial question about so how you develop your pricing at the hotel at the moment. So can someone share with me? Valerie, do you have any experience in doing the pricing? How you develop the pricing for the hotel?
Our hotel will based on the history.
Okay.
And the demands and the competitors as well.
Okay. And you have any like an approach how you can, the method, how to inform the pricing, or you just basing the price grid that you have in advance and now you just use it and continue to use it?
In Malaysia, we do have one is STR.
Okay.
Yeah, for to find out from the competitors, the RevPAR, the occupancy, and then the demands calendars for future, and there are happenings as well. Yeah.
So you depends on that to do the pricing.
Yeah. Events, what is events going on, conventions, and the demands as well.
Okay. How about Elena?
We use a revenue management system to do it. And of course,
right.
The revenue management system will automatically calculate the room rate based on the hotel occupancy. Then when the rate is come out, basically all the manager will sit down and do a further discussion whether we want to stick with the rate or we want to make some changes in the room rate or not, depending on the cost, depending on the period of time, depending on the segmentation that we are targeting at as well.
Okay. So you base a lot on the system. What revenue management system you are using now?
It's actually built together with the Opera system, the Oracle.
From Oracle. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right. So anybody here is doing the pricing in Excel? All right. It seems that
Yeah,
nobody.
I'm now doing the pricing on Excel for the hotel, and I do set up because I set up for the boutique hotel, so they are small hotels, so they don't use the revenue management system. So I have to make the Excel to show the owner what is the rate to get the return on investment they expect, and then show them about the market overview, market pricing overview, and the competitor price, and then we will make the scattered diagram to choose the best available rate for every season, and yes, for every season.
So when you do the pricing by every year?
Yes, we because I do set up. I set up for the new hotel, so
okay.
I give the presentation at the beginning of the project, and then when we open in the opening time during first 3 months, I make that the second time, and after that, after reviewing the cycle of the business 1 year, so we make the strategy for like the forecast for the hotel in the case of normal environment. It means without pandemic, without crisis. Yes, so the owner can similarly apply to that strategy for every season, big season and low season. And if there are some like other factor affect to their model, business model, so they can ask us to advise, to give them more advice.
Okay, got it. So you usually develop the price for the new hotel. All right.
Yeah, yes, for the small hotel.
All right, got it. Thank you. All right. So let's say today I want to share with you like how we have, so what is the method to do the pricing, and then some some tips. All right, so how you can structure your rates, how you can develop your pricing strategy. Okay, so first we talk about hotel pricing method. So in the market, we can develop the pricing based on the investment cost of the hotel. Okay, we have a method to do that. However, I'm not. This method is not using popular in the market because it's not really competitive in the market when we use this method. But at the end, let's say if you want to build a raise based on the investment cost, right? Then you need to estimate. Let's say you want to return on investment for 10 years. If you want to have a return investment for 10 years, so your raise would be like $100, for example. But if you want to have a return on investment for 5 years, then of course your rate, you have to raise your average rate, okay, to achieve that. However, in the market, it's not working in that way, all right? Because at the end, you need to base on the market price, okay, to final your raise or to make a final decision. So that's why today I just share with you more about the hotel market-based pricing approach. okay, is more relevant in the hotel industry and currently like the best practice in the hotel industry. Okay, we have let's say two methods. One, you can do top-down method. The second way, you can do bottom-up method. What is different over here? Okay, let's say this is an example. Okay, for you to easier to imagine. Let's say this is the rate grid in the rate method pricing approach that based on the market. And you see here in the left hand side here is let's say the process. Okay, this is the price development process. This is the process how you develop the price. Okay, and on the right hand side over here, this is the method of using the top-down method. Okay, top-down method, that means you build the rack rates, that means the highest rates of the hotel, and then from that you can develop the other rates depend on using the discount. Okay, from the rack rates. So we call the top-down method. And some hotel they use the bottom-up method, so opposite with top-down. All right, so they build the base rate, all right, the lower base rate, and they develop into the higher rate level. So it still depends on your hotel whether, let's say, if you are, based on my experience, if you are a city hotel, okay, usually a city hotel, you sell the retail segment. That means the rates, the best available rates, and the rates on the OTA segment. OTA segment is very high. And then you can sell the direct segment is very high. Yeah. So these those hotels have that means the direct the retail rates selling more. Okay, the most sellable rates is the retail rates. Then you should use the top-down method. Okay, but if those resort, like some resort, they have their business selling to the wholesale segment, right? Resort usually selling to the wholesale segment a lot. So can say 60% to 70% of the hotel, business hotel, they actually rely on the wholesale segment. So at that time, you need to base on the wholesale rates. You build the wholesale rate first, and then you develop into the corporate rates, the travel agency rate and the other rates, retail rates with the markup. All right. So still depend on the nature of business of the hotel. So you choose the method for that hotel. All right. So, but most of the city hotel and the big brand now in the market, they actually using the top-down method, using the dynamic pricing, and then they do the discount on the rack and the bar. That's available rates. Okay. And the process, how you can do the pricing for the hotel. Let's say like a new hotel, brand new one. All right. First one, you need to identify the concept. I'm not sure if you understand the concept. That explain a little bit. Concept is a competitive set list. Okay, that means in the concept that's including on the hotel competitors that your hotel is compete directly or sometimes indirectly. Like SDI in the market now is SDI doing the benchmarking with a direct competitor or some indirect. Okay, it still depends on the hotel to choose the competitors. All right. So at the first thing, you need to identify the concept. So what are the competitors in the concept? The second one, then you do the benchmarking by doing the SWOT analysis to compare what you have, what your hotel have, and what his competitor have, so that you can understand, you can benchmark your hotel against the other competitor in the concept. The third step, then based on the position of your hotel in the concept, you will decide the price positioning. Okay, the price positioning, that means you will choose the price strategy where you will be in the concept, right? Will decide your position in terms of price. Let's say in the concept had 5 competitors, okay, and you are the number one. You are the number one in the concept, or you are the number 5 in the concept. All right. So if you are the number one, so you are the one who decide the race in the market. Okay, you don't care the rest of the one in the concept because you lead in the race in the market. But if you are the second position, then your race have to lower than the first one, right? But you need to be higher than the third one. Correct? This is the very logic way. If you position yourself number 3, okay, then you have to your race have to lower than the number 1 and number 2, but need to be higher than number 4. Very easy, right? That's we call price positioning. Third, when we position ourselves in terms of positioning, then we need to do the market survey. Let's say you identify yourself in number 2, then you need to do the survey, the rate from the number 1, number 3, number 4, and number 5. All right, so let's see how much they are selling now. And what revenue management is doing is usually asking the sales team, they can use their network. They go and check with the travel agency, with a wholesaler, with those who are working, having the rates from the competitors. Okay, the sales team will get that one, and then that's a good base for you to do the consolidate and compare the rates. Another channel, you can go to the website, the online, to check the rates, and then you put all together into an Excel file and doing the comparison. All right. So after that, you will do the price benchmarking. Okay, let's say now if we are number 2, we are lower than number 1. Then let's say the number 1 sell $100, we need to sell $90, something like that. Okay, so this is how we can benchmarking the price. Then from that, you will develop the price structure, and then you go with the price grid, and then the price table for the hotel. All right, so this is on the process, step by step, you need to do so that you can develop the pricing for the hotel, especially for the new hotel opening. Okay, for those hotels that you come, that already open, and of course, if already open, you just base on their pricing, their current pricing, and then you review it whether its logic is good enough or not. If not, we need to adjust or we need to add in something. So this is the thing that more like on the review side. It's not like developing a new one. All right, so that's I call the approach, the method to do the rates. And then we got a concept of pricing strategy and positioning. All right, this one also interesting. So people are talking a lot about pricing strategy, I believe. If you are now in the hotel industry, you are in sales department, in revenue, in reservation, people talking a lot about pricing strategy, but what is that about? All right, so these are the pricing strategy that using that Cornell University developed this concept, one of the very famous revenue management expert, and also like a pioneer in revenue management in US. Sari Kai, the professor Sari Kai. So she developed this pricing strategy name like skimming, margin, surrounding, undercut, and penetration. All right. So if you read here, just a very short explain. The pricing strategy skimming, right? Skimming, that means if you apply this strategy, that your hotel should be number one in the market. Okay, number one in the market, and your product is actually different on top of the market and different from the rest. All right, so you want to apply this strategy so that you can get the higher luxury level one on the top. Okay, you don't want to tap into the market of lower one. So this is the strategy applying for the luxury hotel that they target to the top end level customer. Okay, the margin strategy, that means you put your pricing on par of the competition. Let's say you in the concept you are number 2, number 3, and then on of the in the concept you need to put your price be equal to, let's say they come to this price positioning in the very specific example, so easier for you to understand. Let's say if you use the scheme, right? Scheme over here. Scheme is like, let's say the market price is $79. Right? If you use scheme strategy, that means you will put your rate 89, 99, higher and higher. But if you match, then you use 79 equal to the market, and then this one is higher. And then if you use surround, that means the entry rate lower than this one, lower than the equal, but the next one will be higher than the equal. Undercut is this, okay, lower and match over here, match the market, and then penetrate. So surround, undercut is usually using for the hotel to compete normally, but penetrate is for the new hotel. Let's say if you just open the hotel, right, and you want to attract the customer come to your hotel to experience the product. All right, so you put your rates lower in the market so that you attract more customer, and that one I call the strategy of revenue management strategy is occupancy driven. Now you try to increase your occupancy instead of the rates. All right, so these are we call pricing positioning. Okay. Pricing strategy and positioning. All right. Another concept I call selling strategy. Okay, you need to understand this one because when you sell your products to the customer, so these are the strategy that you can apply. Okay, put the rates to communicate the rate with clients. You can use the top-down pricing coding. Bottom up, it's available a menu guide. So here, if the sales people in the hotel, they are using the menu guide strategy. That means you put on the room type of the contract, for example, into the contract, okay, on the room rates, and display in the contract and send to the customer, the corporate or the travel agency. All right, so that's the way we call selling strategy is menu guide. For the reservation or front office, usually they will use a top-down pricing coding or the bottom-up pricing coding via the telephone or even face-to-face. Right? Let's say an example for you. Top-down, that means you offer for the guests. you offer for the guests the higher rates. Let's say you have superior room, deluxe room, and then grand deluxe, okay, in a higher level, okay, and your superior is available, all right, all of your room is available, but you don't want to sell the superior room, the lower one, but you want to sell the deluxe or the grand deluxe first. So you use the technique, the strategy that, okay, you quote for the guest, you use and just have the grand deluxe room available. All right, you quote for them with the raise benefit statement, feature benefit statement. All right, and then if they are okay, you can close the deal with the grand deluxe. All right, so that we call top down. But if they not agree, then you need to go in down, right? Okay, beside the grand deluxe, I have the deluxe room for you is, I think, is more suitable to your budget, something like that. Then you going down from grand deluxe to deluxe, but you give them the benefit statement is like going down. But with this room, you know, the deluxe room, the size is smaller, and is in the view is not really good at the grand deluxe. So this is the way, the selling way that you do when you use when you are selling to the customer. All right. So opposite with the top down way, you use the bottom up way. Bottom up, that means you have the superior room available. Go ahead and quote the superior room. And then if the guest say, hey, you have any room else higher, better one, then you go up, right? But your main purpose during using the bottom up is you want to close the deal with the lower room available. And then the best available rates, pricing quoting, that means always you need like reservation and front office, they usually use this selling strategy. Quote the rest, the guest with the best available rates for any time the guest come to the hotel to make the bookings or asking their availability. Okay, so these are the selling strategy that you need to also know so that you can apply for the hotel, for the staff in front office, front desk, with reservation and the sales team. Pricing communication is another thing, very important one in pricing. And a lot of people will not really concentrate or not really care about this one. And they just, you know, increase the rate, decrease the rates in a very, that means don't have any rule actually, all right? And then they don't communicate in advance with the customer. So they make the customer feel upset and then easier, you know, to turn away the business with the hotel. All right, so this is also a very important part when you do the pricing. You know, there's some, when you increase the rate, right, it's always hard. It's very sensitive to increase the rates. So that's why when on the online channel, when you want to increase the rate, let's say you want to increase $20, and normally your rate is $100, and when you increase to $120, immediately 20% up. If you move up very fast, I mean the gap is very big, 20% is very big, then the guests feel like, hey, I just shop the rate on the website, and then just see just $100, and now you up to $120 immediately. So it's something is not really convenient for me. I feel not really fair. But if you want to increase like $20, right? But if you put into two steps, the first step you increase $10 first, right? And then if something actually some pickup coming, have more new booking coming, then you increase another $10. All right. So people is feel not like shocking about the race. All right, so this is called communication. And then another example is not on an online channel, but if you come to the offline, when you want to change the rate for the corporate, or the leisure like the travel agent or the wholesale. So that's, you need to have a prepare step so that you need to make people feel comfortable first. So usually when I'm doing increase, I want to increase the raise, I need to work with the sales team. I say, hey, guys, we are going to increase the raise by 20%. All right. And the reason we have to increase the raise because of this, because of that. All right. And now I need you to communicate with the top like the top client, like top 10, top 20 clients that you are working with, and ask them, okay, what is their willingness to pay, whether they agree for this kind of increasement. Yeah, we need to have that step, you know, at least your client is feel like they have respect. Okay, the hotel respect them actually. And of course, if they give an objection, a lot of objection on that, then that's a good return, a good feedback for you to consider. Maybe instead of increase 20%, we break it into 2 times to increase. Yeah, but if the feedback is good, okay, people feel okay, raise, I'm okay with that, it's not really a big deal, then that's the good side to go ahead, right? So this is the way we need to prepare for the hotel, for the customer to agree on our raise when we increase the raise, right? And then if you want to decrease the rate, all right, it's another thing. Decrease the rate is like a lot of hotel, they can decrease right 30%, 40% of the raise immediately. So sometimes, you know, the guests feel like, hey, if you decrease the rate like that, whether your service quality, any problem with your service level, something like that, the customer make a question, especially for a loyalty one. So you need to make sure that when you decrease the rate, first you need to identify the lowest one. Don't try to lower a lot on your rates, because that impact a lot on your branding, on your reputation in the market. All right. And when you decrease the rate, need also put it into step. Don't like 30%, 40% off immediately. Don't do that. You can go with like 15 and then another 15. Okay, if you want to make 30%. But if immediately 30%, 40% is really bad activity. That means they make the guests feel like, okay, your product is very cheap. All right. So when doing the communication, be consistent. Okay, be consistent. Because if you increase the rate in this channel, but it's not increased for the other channel, so of course that's great because the rate disparity also in the market also is not good. All right, and these are of the thing that I just shared with you is the best practice, or the thing that we need to do so that, you know, we communicate the rate with the guest in a proper way. They need to understand why you increase, why you decrease, and they need to have the time communication so that they can accept it, willing to accept it. All right. So these are the thing that I need to raise awareness for you. All right. I think for today's section, we talk about on the overall one until now, and I think for on the sharing for the first section is going to be end now. If so now if either Q&A question, if you have any question, you raise now, or otherwise we will stop the section by today. All right, any question?
And so far, no from my side.
All right, everybody, it seems like very clear. So it seems that, okay, because of I present everything is very detailed and clear one, so nobody asking something.
I have a question, anh ơi.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to ask about the rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically there will be a base rate for all of the type of the customer, and then depend on the season, then we're gonna like have some discount for each of the type, right?
So we have two methods. I mentioned again. Okay, we have two methods to doing the raise. You can build the base rate. That means the lowest one, and then you
Yeah.
can mark up the rate. Depends on what? Depends on, let's say if you use a rate fences, like if the room has a better view, so they should be have high rates. All right, the base rate, we call it like the entry room, or for the entry room or the entry level. So from the entry level, you will mark up the rates, okay, for the other level, or using the rate fence. Rate fence here, that means if the rate fence about physical one, it means the room can be, the room size is bigger, so you can have a higher rates. The room is have the view is more beautiful, then you can put the rate higher than the base rate. So that we call a bottom up. For the top down, usually you identify the rack rate. That means the highest rate that you are going to sell in the market. And from the rack rate, you can discount. Okay, if I sell to the corporate one, okay, I will discount 20%. But I sell to the leisure one, the travel agency, for the wholesale one, I discount to 25% to 30%, for example.
Yeah, on clear anh ơi. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Lynn. All right, anybody else? All right, it seems everybody clear. All right, so then we can stop the section for today. And thank you very much for your time today in joining the class. So hope that next week we are, sorry, tomorrow we are going to have another topic and more interaction, because I'm feel not really comfortable when I'm just the person who talk in the class. All right. Thank you very much for your time today. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank
good
you.
day. Thank you.
Have a good day. Take care, everyone.
Okay, take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Mas